But under the crooked Joe Biden, we were weak and soft and in danger like never before, and that continues. And, you know, we have an election that's coming up very quickly, but 1 year is a long time. The destruction that they've done to our country, 1 year seems like it's quick, but it's not. It's a long time for them to continue because we're close to having no country at all, and we're also close to being in World War III, a war that you've never even conceived or thought about, but we're very close. You know, they have a hat. I saw it the other day. It said Trump was right about everything, and I said, well, that's a big statement. And then you think about it, and I sort of was right about everything.
That was former US President Donald Trump addressing supporters at his rally in South Florida. As you just heard, he warned Americans that we're close to World War III. Donald Trump declared that while he was in office, he kept the world safe.
For 4 straight years under the Trump administration, I kept America safe. I kept Israel safe. I kept Ukraine safe, and I kept the world safe. Israel, Ukraine would have never happened under the Trump administration. There was no chance it would have happened. Those 2 events alone would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened, It was caused by stupid people on energy policy.
The former president told his supporters that his priority is to make America safe again. He made reference to the alarming rise of illegal migrants at the southern border, where in the last fiscal year there's been a record 2.47 million encounters.
2019, there were no terrorists coming in, 0. And I said, it must be wrong, it can't be, but they had actually 0. And then the following year they had many, many, many. Once Biden took over, the terrorists have flooded into our country.
Throughout the rally, Donald Trump spoke about the wave of pro-Palestinian protests that have been taking place in the United States as the Israel-Hamas war escalates. The former president said in times like these, you can't afford to have a president that wants to be politically correct.
Our country has never seen the likes of what you witnessed in America last weekend with the menacing mobs of Hamas supporters chanting their jihad slogans in the streets of our cities. In Washington, D.C., pro-jihadist demonstrators climbed up the fence in front of the White House. Excuse me, that I built it. You know, the fence wasn't too good. The one that they had up there was falling apart, and we built it. Titanium, it's the strongest stuff, and they damaged the fence, and they damaged police vehicles. They desecrated statues of Ben Franklin and other great heroes of our country, and they shouted, Allah Akbar, while calling the barbaric Hamas terrorists martyrs. They were saying martyrs. In times like these, you can't afford to have a president who wants to be politically correct. We have to do things properly. We cannot have an administration that takes foreign policy advice from Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib. Can't do that.
The former president took aim at Joe Biden, but he also took aim at Republicans. His rally coincided with a third Republican primary debate, which Donald Trump described as not watchable.
Coming in, I had this thing, and I was watching these guys. They're not watchable. You know, the last debate was the lowest rated debate in the history of politics. So therefore, do you think we did the right thing by not participating?
Donald Trump retains a commanding lead over his closest competitor, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Next year's presidential election could be a 2020 rematch between the former president and Joe Biden. During the rally, Trump declared he would win the state of Florida in a landslide, and he had this to say about the latest New York Times Siena poll, which found Trump is leading Biden in 5 of 6 battleground states.
We are leading crooked Joe Biden in almost all of the swing states. In Pennsylvania, we're up 4. In Michigan, we're up 5. In Arizona, we're up 5. In Georgia, we're up 6. In Nevada, we're up 11 points. And nationally, we're up at numbers that, frankly, nobody's seen before. Nobody has seen it before.